If you've waited 20 years for an AVGN game that actually feels like an NES game instead of a modern retro-like, this might be the one that breaks the curse. Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit doesn't just reference the era, it lives there. A foul-mouthed FMV prologue drops you straight into a Mega Man 2-style stage select. The nerd's orange zapper becomes your lifeline, and every joke is dipped in the exact kind of 8-bit bile that built the channel. The question is simple. Does it play as good as it talks? Here's the spine. Developed with Mega Cat Studios and Programmancer, published by Retroware, launched October 23rd, 2025 on modern platforms with an honest-goodness NES cartridge run. You get 6 stages up front and a 7th finale after you clear the board. Difficulty comes in 3 flavors: chill as hell, normal, and hard as balls, and the moveset is deliberately simple: jump, slide, shoot. Triangle for sub-weapons if you want that Castlevania feel, or flip a menu toggle to use up plus attack for full Vania muscle memory. There's a password grid for saves, CRT filters and borders to taste, and a shamelessly rude game over screen that would have gotten your NES grounded for a month. Combat leans into a clean risk-reward loop. The Nerd Zapper has upgrade levels scattered through stages or dropped by enemies, inflating from pea shooter to chunky spread or big hit bullets. Every hit you take dings the power level and spits out the upgrade as a bouncing pickup. Chase it and you might dunk yourself into a hazard, ignore it and you might limp into a boss. That's a classic arcade brain teaser in platformer clothes, and it gives each room a tiny push your luck puzzle. Sub weapons keep the party loud. Screen nuking F-bombs, beer bottles arsing like Simon's axe, a big rude middle finger, and the legendary Shage Pickle that auto-mauls a crowd when you're out of patience. Yes, it works on bosses. No, you won't stop laughing. Level design sits in the sweet spot between homage and remix. Odge Connected calls out Graves and Groans, a graveyard vibe with Ghosts and Goblins DNA. Turdo Tunnel riffs on Battletoads Turbo Tunnel while dropping you into an ET flavored boss fight named TP. Other reviewers point to Festerdrome's Castlevania Swagger, F-14 Tomcat's Top Gun Wink, Specimen Soda Factory Chaos, and Jekyll and Hyde Skullduggery. The important bit isn't which game gets parodied, it's that the layouts are built around the nerd's limited kit, train you on enemy patterns early, and then make you earn your power-ups with little skill checks and branching paths. No insta-death spike spam for the meme, falling into pits or touching spikes dings health instead of hard killing you, which keeps the tempo brisk and the salt tolerable. Where the critics agree, the handling is tight and old school faithful. Multiple outlets call out precise jumps, a smart slide, and stage challenges that feel fair instead of designed to make you scream like the nerd. Normal is tuned well. Easy drops more power-ups and damage, hard trims continues and turns up enemy health and patterns. One reviewer straight up recommends the D-pad over the stick to avoid accidental slides. Classic platformer wisdom and a reminder this game is tuned for small inputs, where they split soundtrack and variety. CG Magazine gushes about the chiptune score as rockin', stage-appropriate, and hype. Codge Connected says aside from the theme on the title screen, not many tracks stick in your head. My read after combing the footage and notes is this. It's era-correct and energetic, but it's not trying to dethrone Castlevania 2's bloody tears in your brainstem. It sets pace more than it sets earworms. On variety, you can feel the limits by design. This is a short game with a focused moveset and 6 core stages. If you want loadouts on loadouts and weird mobility tech, that's not the mission. If you want crisp platforming with clever layouts and a consistent upgrade puzzle from room to room, you're fed. Presentation lands with confidence. The 8-bit palette is nailed, sprites read cleanly, backgrounds carry just enough detail to sell the homage without drowning the screen in modern flair. There's debate about whether it's truly possible on NES, and the devs basically answer that by shipping an NES cart. That's a flex, the FMV bits are more than novelty. They give the game the episode feel the prior AVGN titles never quite captured, leaning into Sega CD camp while letting Rolf's delivery do what it's always done. Weaponize exasperation. It's a smart bridge between YouTube personality and cartridge-era design. Let's do the disagreement dance. COG Connected clocks it at an 85, praising the humor, the Castlevania DNA, and the celebration of NES weirdness while noting the short length and limited variety. Game Green goes higher at 9.5, calling the controls precise, the sub-weapon kit fun, and the references a joy, plus a tip that trampoline blocks have consistent behavior if you hold jump, hidden tutorial energy there. CG Magazine stamps a 9 and singles out the Zapper power drop loop as a standout idea, lauds the balance compared to earlier AVGN games, and loves the soundtrack. So why the split? It's almost entirely about what you expect from Authentic. If authenticity means lean systems, tight rooms, and a sense that every hit matters, this nails it. If authenticity means a museum piece straitjacket where the joke is how miserable you feel, this swerves away on purpose. Quick story setup in 3, 2, 1. The opening FMV is a mini-episode. Super Mecha Death Christ goes all-console exorcist to purge satanic games. The nerd counters with a cursed cartridge, powered by the worst schlock he's ever suffered. And you go to war through 6 stages before a final showdown in the glitch abyss. And spoiler, it's camp, it's clean, and it gives the set pieces permission to be loud. What genuinely surprised me is how modern the fairness feels without breaking the illusion. No cheap gotchas, no 3-hour spikes and safety valves like generous extra lives, or that golden assist pickle if you faceplant repeatedly. That's the difference between a museum and a game night. You get the NES texture without the part where you hurl a controller through a cathode ray. So who should buy this? If you grew up on NES and AVGN, it's a layup. The references are constant, but the platforming stands on its own. If you're a modern player without nostalgia goggles, this is still approachable because the rules are simple and the game respects your time. If you need sprawling systems and movement tech to lab for weeks, you'll finish this with a smile and move on. That's not a flaw, that's a choice. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like. So this take survives the algorithm and we keep spotlighting games that actually know what they are. Here's the spicy closer for the comments. Should the next AVGN game keep the strict 8-bit constraints for purity, or break the rules and add 1 or 2 modern verbs, air dash, wall climb, parry, if they're mapped to period authentic fiction like weird peripherals and power glove heresy?